Hey, what's up everybody? Bringing you another video. This time is of another older figure as well as with his bike. And I decided to do it when I was doing Kamen Rider Mod because I'm going to do Chase as well too. Is that we're doing Kamen Rider Chaser. This is the Remu Third Hero and it's about Chase and him in his Kamen Rider form. And I really enjoy it. So this was a Tamashi web shop a couple years back along with the Drive series stuff. I'm very happy. I'm actually going to do a bunch of Drive stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I figured now would be the time. So Chase is really cool. I've obviously very much enjoyed the line, and I really enjoy secondary and third riders, so it's really cool to have Chase. So we're gonna jump into that right now. This guy is actually pretty nice. He is one of the older figures that still use pretty much a lot of the older parts, but as well as some of the newer technology, but older parts. That being said, we're talking about these old shoulder pads, which don't move. All they do is flap up and down. I really would have hoped we would have gotten new stuff with this, but we actually got it older with Chase, as well as him not really having a neck. But again, I still enjoy it. It's one of the older figures. And it goes to show you that technology-wise, even though this guy still looks good, technology-wise, we've come a long way with a lot of the previous figures. So it's pretty cool to see this now, what, I think like 5 years now? I think we're 4 or 5 years now. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. So articulation-wise, our head can go up. It can look down. We can tilt side to side very briefly. We can rotate all the way around with no issue. One thing I want to talk about with his V-fin, like you do with Gundam, it is actually comes removable and you can plug it in. So be very careful. Hopefully he doesn't fall over and break his. I would lose my goddamn mind if he did. So yeah. So as far as our arm articulation goes, we know we use these older shoulder pads. It actually works for his design pretty well. I just really would hope that if we ever get a 2.0, they don't repeat that mistake. I really hope not, because this is actually a really cool design and it just needs a little bit more work. We actually can use, we can spread our arms out a bit. We do have a little bit of tug and pull on that arm right there. But as you can see here, the arms actually aren't really hindered by anything, which is pretty cool. It allows them to move all the way up. Then we can rotate all the way around with no issue. We have a bicep swivel. And the bicep swivel is actually hidden right here under this, where the shoulder pad is. So it's pretty cool. And our arms are double jointed. The shoulder pad is going to get in the way, but if you lift the shoulder pad up or don't go on like directly under it, you'll still get that double arm movement. We have our standard wrist peg joint, which rotates around with no problem, however you want it. Now, as far as the upper torso though, I really don't remember how it works for him. So we're going to test this out. As you can see here, we can move backwards, but it doesn't actually extend far backwards. We can move forwards, have very little ab crunch, and you cannot rotate side to side, but you can tilt side to side. So Chaser is actually very limited when it comes to that ab crunch area, which kind of sucks, but again, much older figure. Our leg articulation is actually pretty nice, as we can lift our leg all the way up. It's double jointed. We have little room for ankle pivot and very little room for toe pivot. So Chaser was actually on the side of being one of these figures that it shows his age now. While being nice, it still definitely goes to show you that we've come a lot further since then. So as you can see here, can we pose him up? Can we make him look good? Yeah, Chaser could pretty look good. I know they were trying to go in for Chaser as the stiff one out of the group, but I still would have liked a very much articulated figure, and we still have it. Chaser still looks good, but again, it does definitely show his date now. So overall, though, still a pretty good figure. Now, Chaser did not come with much because accessory-wise, he just didn't have it. So you will get his signal axe, which I absolutely adore as a weapon. This is a guy with an axe that tells him when to pretty much attack, which is pretty cool. It has a place for where the signal bike can be placed, and it does have the slot tab for you to add it. Let's see if I can get some light in there. And there will be a slot tab right there. Also, what you can do, you can actually remove the faceplate. If I remember how. There we go. Lift up. So we're going to remove our faceplate here, because there is a piece that you can add right in front. And this is basically going to be a piece where you add it on and it covers it up or highlights a certain piece. So however you're going to flip it is where it tells you when to go. Obviously with the darkened one, it tells you when not to go. Lightened one tells you when to go. And it shines through here pretty well. It'll show better in photos than it will in the video. And I can't get this to line up for the life of me right now. And I don't know, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong actually now. So yeah, you have to push that in, sorry. But then there's a piece here, which again, you see it's darkened. And when you rotate over, you notice the bottom piece is now darkened. So let's light this back up by putting this back in. And we have our signal axe. Next up, we get hands. So you'll have your open palm hands, right? Then you'll also get hands for holding your signal axe. Notice that these are trigger hands. And that's because if you bought the original Machine Chaser, right? You'll actually get his main weapon. With this main weapon, what you'll do is you can actually place it within this hand. These also can be used hands for his bike. So as you can see here, you can still have his regular weapon and use it, the Toon Chaser. One more thing I want to talk about is the belt. Just like with Mach, you can actually lift his belt up to do his signature move, and you can remove the signal bike if you want. So you can do absolutely what you want to do as you get your gimmick wise going. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these hands so I can show him on his bike. Let's show you guys what's up. Overall, I still love Mach. He has a special place in my heart. But I can tell you that the figure is now dated, and he's actually still very popular, which means this figure is still somewhat up there in range, which kind of sucks for those of you who are going to get it a little later. But the price has dropped a little, which is pretty good. Because at one point he was going for like 180 bucks, and now I think he's only going for like 60 or 70, which is around retail, which is okay, but it's still up there. So yeah, now I'm going to move Chaser back, but I have those hands on. As you can see, we have Chaser's bike, the Ride Chaser. This bike is absolutely phenomenal. I love the look of it. It's just one of these cool and sleek designs that remind me of Akira, but also just looking overall pretty cool. Oh, I done dropped Baby Yoda, y'all. All because the wheel done smacked Chase in the face. So let me fix that. Him and Cat. I apologize. And as you can see, just like with Mach, you rotate the wheel and the handlebars move and vice versa. So let's put Chase up. Oh, we have our kickstand too. Let's make sure that's talked about. So just like with Mach, what you do is you can place this guy on, and he pretty much fits on his bike with no problem. And that is kind of why, even with a dated figure, with the addition of his bike, I really still enjoy what this guy has going on for him, especially with his bike. Because I've absolutely always adored taking bike photos, and I can't wait to get up to it and do it again. So as you can see here, just like with Mach, we can do really cool bike photos, and he holds the pose. These are cool things like this that I've always enjoyed, and I really, really like them. So hoping I can get some dope photos out of this. So let's take this guy off, park his bike in the background. And don't worry, most of the time the right handlebar always comes off. It kind of allows you to pose better or get the handle on the pose in case you don't know what you're doing. Mine's just loose from having it for years. And we also get a stand just like with Chase to put on the back if you want. Want to make sure I don't miss that. Real quick though, as I back this on up, I'm going to stand this guy up and make sure Chase gets compared to a bunch of other stuff so we can get this guy into a size comparison. One thing I do want to do is show you guys next to his previous form, which is that of Machine Chaser. All right, so here we go. Here we are with his previous form, which is Machine Chaser, and his Roy form from the show. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest you do. Drive is one of my favorites behind Kuga. And as you can see here, here's Chase, and here is the Grim Reaper. Next up, we're going to compare it to some other drive stuff. So let's take him out. Let's do it up with Mach. And then we're going to do Gold Drive. Gold Drive, our main antagonist. And then we're going to do Kamen Drive himself. So we have the main three as well as the big bad. All right. Next up, I'm going to throw Heart in there, just in case you watch this before you watch the Mach one. Right? Now we got a size comparison. Chase does look a little smaller than the rest. I wish he was a tad bit taller, but you can tell they kind of just was aiming for something different, but they just didn't nail that scale perfectly. Now, take these guys away. Next up, we have a 1000 Toys Carb Human, which I still haven't figured out a name for him yet. He's even bigger than Chase, all right? Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, which I've managed to grab in the meantime right out of sorting. Even he is bigger than Chase, so that says something. Normally, they're all around the same height, and they're bigger than Chase. Then we're gonna put him up next to an SHF Kamen Rider Cougar. That's the renewal body to show you guys what's going on. And just to be sure, we're gonna test it up against one of the newer regular bodies, which is Kamen Rider Gates. And as you can see here, Chaser is definitely smaller, proportion-wise and head-wise. So that may be one of the things where they kind of definitely messed up on, the way he can improve on. Here he is next to a 6-inch Marvel Legends, in case you want to mix and match your life away. Mix up your universes. It's your world. Let it rock. Last but not least, we're going to do a Mythic Legions Orc and a Mezco Me to show you. Oops, I forgot my feet were magnetic. So here he is next to a purple Orc. Here he is next to a Mezco Me, just to show you size-wise. So again, he's way more on the tinier side, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer, but still overall a piece I very much enjoy because I enjoy Kamen Rider. If this is not for you, it's definitely not worth going back and seeking it out if you don't want to, because we're definitely on the line of getting renewals of stuff and they just popping out of nowhere with things. But if you definitely want to go back and just at least get his bike, I'd say get his bike and get, you know, enjoy yourself. Mix and match, have fun. But I hope you enjoyed this throwback video. As always, guys, thank you for watching. And thank you always, you know, just for leaving nice comments. I do appreciate it. Be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later. One of the things I forgot to do because I forgot this is an older figure, but here he is compared to a Lightning Collection. And as you can see, he is significantly smaller, but again, it works in action shots. Just gonna have some trouble standing them up next to each other. So think about that and enjoy it at the end of this video. Later.